thank you very much for joining me. Can you share where negotiations currently stand in Washington, and what are you hearing on when the government might reopen?
Yeah, look, we're ready to open the government today. We have a lot of work to do for the American people, and Republicans stand ready to do that. We have asked our Democratic colleagues to come to the table to open the government so that we can continue to do the work of the American people. I think it's clear that you can walk and chew gum at the same time, so we can continue to talk about important things in front of the American people while we work to actually fund the government. And so that's what we're saying today, and I am hopeful that they'll come to their senses and realize the people that are being put at stake here. I just heard you talking about federal workers. I've heard you talking about pay. We want to make sure our servicemen and women are paid. We want to make sure that the people that are working diligently, air traffic controllers, amongst other people that are working to serve the American people, are paid for the work they're done and doing, and that could happen if the Democrats just come and vote to open it today.
Now, Senator Britt, I will say one of the biggest sticking points for Democrats is the health care, and they're saying that is why this vote isn't happening right now. According to the Congressional Budget Office, if those Affordable Care Act subsidies aren't addressed, close to 4 million Americans could lose access to health care, and that includes 130,000 people in the state of Alabama, your state. So is there any kind of leeway or any kind of point where both Democrats and Republicans can agree on to address this glaring health care issue?
Yeah, this healthcare issue that you're talking about, that doesn't expire until January 1st. It is October. We have a lot of time to work through issues, and people have different perspectives about what the pathway forward is. To shut the government down right now is absolutely premature when you're looking at all the work we have in front of us for the American people. We're supposed to be funding the government, and if you want to talk about healthcare, why in the world would you let WIC, as you just reported, go dry in some areas? That's for women, infant, and children. That's for the most vulnerable amongst us. So they're saying a conversation that we have until now to January, that they're going to halt all payment for our servicemen and women and programs like WIC in order to have the conversation. I mean, just think about that. It makes absolutely no sense. Like I said, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can open the government and work on important appropriations bills, which actually, and that's what this is all about, funding the government. And if you look back to Democrats' past track record, under Chuck Schumer, they didn't put one appropriations bill on the floor, not one, the entire time that he was leader last year, which led us to a CR at the beginning of this year. If you take the contrast to that, Leader John Thune actually put 3 appropriations bills on the floor before we even left for the state work period in August. We are leaps and bounds ahead of where they were at this point in time. We've marked up more bills through the Appropriations Committee. These bills actually are what we are supposed to be doing to fund the government. So that's the conversation that we should be having right this second, is how do we get these appropriations bills across the finish line and actually do our job for the American people? People are sick of political theater, and especially at the price of America's most vulnerable. That's what Democrats have chosen today. That's what they have chosen for the last 8 days. I hope they come to their senses and put the American people ahead of partisan politics and realize that we have time to talk about issues in front of us, and we also can be doing our job at the very same time.
And Senator Britt, I want to ask you something else. You recently requested that your own Senate pay be withheld during the shutdown. Why did you make that decision, and what do you hope it signals?
Look, I mean, if you think about this, there are workers out there that are working for the federal government, that are working to make sure that we provide services and that we provide protection for the American people, who are going to go without a paycheck because of this political stunt. You said it earlier, they want to talk about health care, an issue that doesn't actually ripen until January 1st, but yet they've chosen to pick that instead of paying these federal workers and having these conversations simultaneously. So I want to say I stand with them. I stand with the brave men and women in uniform that are not going to get a paycheck as of the beginning of next week. There is no way, if we can't figure out how to do our job up here, that we should be getting paid while other people are not. And I hope that everyone, but in particular my Democratic colleagues that have chosen this path that is not necessary, should absolutely be withholding their pay as well.
All right, Senator Katie Britt, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.